Hello, welcome to another episode of A 30-Minute Life, where I share my experience of my illness so that your experience of your chronic illness might be a little bit better. On June 7, 2021, I wrote a post, "More pain and fatigue because I did not pace myself." Many times in this blog I have mentioned how important it is to pace yourself, particularly if you have a chronic illness which comes with fatigue as a symptom. Over the last week I pushed myself too far and I am paying the price now. Let me give you an idea of what happened. On Monday I had an important phone appointment. It was going to be a long call, so we split it into 3 half-hour pieces with a 30-minute break between each of them. Despite this, my persistent post-traumatic headache soared to an 8 on a 10-point scale. This meant I was in bed in a darkened room for the rest of the day from about 1 p.m. On Tuesday, I had a visit from the occupational therapist to see if I needed any more help with my mobility scooter, and we decided I was okay for now, but I can make contact if my situation changes. I am very impressed with this OT, as she looks at the wider situation, not just focused on the scooter. After this visit, due to the pain of Monday, I had to take it easy for the balance of the day. I did venture out to the supermarket on my scooter later in the day. It was my first time in that shop since March 2020. It looked the same, and I was a little disappointed. Wednesday, I was doing some work for the university and had to change my password for their system as a safety precaution. However, once I did this, my new password did not work, and I have been locked out of that system since then. This means I cannot do any work there. I tried to take it easy as I knew I would be travelling on Thursday. In the morning I did some exercises. I did just a little too much, and so my mobility suffered for the rest of the day. Driving takes a lot out of me. First is the concentration required to drive, plus my vehicle is not suited to my disability. It is a saloon car with low seats. This makes my leg cramp and the pain gets worse too. On Thursday I had to drive to Galway and it was a whole day trip. I was able to use my scooter around the town and it was warm and sunny. We even ate some lunch outside. It felt like being in Spain. After that, I went to purchase some electronic equipment. The salesperson was not helpful, so I went to another shop where I finally bought the product I was looking for. After the 1.5-hour trip home, I went straight to my bed, using the stairlift to get me there. On Friday, I had 2 meetings. The first was an exploratory meeting about a new project where my patient advocacy knowledge could be useful. It took 30 minutes and it was draining. In the afternoon, I had a meeting for the university which lasted an hour, another tiring day. I had no more energy. My battery was flat. On Saturday, I had to go to Galway again, as the electronic equipment I bought was an older model. The salesperson just wanted a quick sale. This trip was hell, as the pain increased much earlier than on Thursday. I just had not recovered enough, so I paid a big price. This followed into Sunday. I took several naps and went to bed early again. My mobility yesterday was a disaster, with me using all the aids I have to get me around. Recovery. Today I will have to rest again. Over the week I just did too much. I did not pace myself. This meant I lost days from my schedule and more pain and fatigue. It is really easy for me to cross the line into overdoing it. This situation could have caused me to be angry at what I have lost or even frustrated, but this brings no benefit to me. Nothing. I have learned to accept this situation and not dwell on the impact of my actions. Learning from this is okay, and I will now again adapt my routine to compensate. Due to all the activity during the week, I did not exercise often enough. Once per week doesn't work. I need to do little and often to build strength and fitness. This coming week I will try to do better, but today I won't do anything again. I just don't have the energy. With an illness like MS, it is very difficult to know where the boundaries are as they shift continually. There are days when I can exercise in the morning and still be able to walk a bit in the afternoon. Sometimes I can drive to Galway and still function to my normal the following day. There are so many elements which need to be monitored so I can function optimally. Due to fatigue and pain, it can be difficult for me to assess my limits. Next step. Will this stop me from doing things? No, that won't happen. I've learned it is easier to accept I pushed myself too far, try to understand why this happened, and then adapt. As the rules of my life change, I must also change my tactics. There are times when I will make a mistake, make the wrong choice. I console myself by accepting there is no roadmap for my MS. It is different for me as it is different for every person living with this disease. We just need to stand up again, dust ourselves off, and start all over. Looking back on this post, I wish I learned a little bit better, but I do push myself maybe too often past my limits, and I do pay the price. However, I think I allow this to happen because I don't want to start constraining myself too much. It is so easy to let the things that you can do get smaller and smaller and less often. And then you do nothing because the fear is that you will experience more pain or fatigue, or you will suffer for the days that follow. And this is true, but sometimes you need to accept this as a cost of living a life. And so I do push myself past those limits. And as a result, I get to do things. And those things that I do, I remember. And they give me solace, they give me joy, and they also give me courage to face that pain the next time. I was recently seeing a Twitter post from somebody who I follow on the internet, and this gentleman has Parkinson's disease. And he went for a walk up a mountain, and it was a very tough walk for him because of his mobility challenges, like it would be for me. But I reminded him when he was sharing the post that he will remember that walk up that mountain and the views that he saw and the achievement that he had in getting as far as he did. Okay, he'll pay the price for the next couple of days and then he will recover. But the memory will stay with him and it will bring a smile to his face in months or even years' time. And I think this is true for me too. I look back on those times, I look back at my journal and remember what I did and maybe how I paid the price, but how it was worth the price because I was able to achieve something. It may have been with the university when I was in Galway, getting that extra little project done, or with my patient advocacy. There are times when I will have to attend a meeting that is an hour long, sometimes longer, though I do try to break them up. And I pay the price afterwards. It is a big toll on me physically. But mentally, it isn't a big toll. I use that experience of sharing what I know about my illness and what it feels like to be a patient to help change and adapt the environment that we are living in. And knowing that I'm doing something to hopefully make life better for other people like me, it gives me this pleasure that I am doing something positive with my illness. And I think that is the big challenge that we all face. How can we use those negative things that are in our life in a positive sense? It doesn't make them any less negative, but it does make it far more palatable. And I think that is why I love being a patient advocate. Thank you for listening to A 30-Minute Life. If you have the time, could you please write a review or share this podcast with your friends? It helps more people hear about the experience of one person with MS. Goodbye.